Hello and welcome to another edition of the Women's Golf Weekly Podcast. I'm Jesse Morrison alongside Max Bechtold. And Max, we'll dive right into things here. Big news on the LPGA Tour today. Kiara Romero, who was at the time, or who has been one of the best amateurs out there, she has now secured her tour card through the LEAP program. She's the second player to do so. And I think she's going to start making a big impact right away.
Yeah, this has been a little bit of long time coming. She's only been 1 point away ever since she was low am at the U.S. Women's Open this year, where she had a crazily impressive performance. But she kind of finally crawled her way up there. Actually, the Curtis Cup got her that extra point, but it's kind of the same thing where it's been for a while. She just needed that one extra point. And everybody kind of knew that this was coming because the McCormack medal was just given out that honors the best amateur in the world over a yearly basis. And this is kind of really what will push people over the edge to get the leap points is because it's worth 4 points. And so she's won it twice. That's 8 points right there that nobody else has gotten over the last 2 years. And so everybody kind of knew that this was coming, but it's still a big deal. And she did, in fact, declare that she is turning pro immediately. So she is going to become, because she did have the option to defer that until next season. I don't know why she would do that. It's not like she'd get a full extra year at Oregon or anything. And so I think it was the right move for her to declare right away. And I do agree. I think she'll be a pretty solid player right off the bat. Maybe not, getting in winning contention. I'm not sure we're going to see a Lottie Woad type ascension out of her, but I do think we're going to see some good results.
Yeah, and she's only 20 years old, so she's got a long stretch here coming up of many years where she can be in her prime and play really good golf.
And
Um,
there's another big storyline that comes off of this, which is that her sister, who's actually in the field this week at the Portland Classic, who got a sponsors exemption, Kalia, has been playing great on the Epson Tour. Will probably be an LPGA Tour rookie next year. So now, I mean, here we got another sister pairing on tour that should be very exciting to watch.
yeah, it's very interesting how many pairs of sisters play on the LPGA Tour. It's probably one of those things where, they were super competitive growing up, so
Yeah, we should probably see Patience and Mimi Rhodes coming up in the future. Patience has a couple more years, I think, but they'll add another one as well. There's a lot of great sister pairings right now.
yeah, it's interesting because my brother was a swimmer and I never really got into that sport.
I feel like that's the thing, and I might be making an unfair assumption about boys growing up versus girls growing up, but I feel like once especially in golf, and I think this kind of translates over to boys as well, but I feel like once the first golfer gets going, you see their sibling come up and play as well. Like I because even you see it across to the PGA Tour where you got Minwoo and Minjee Lee.
Yep.
And Minjee Lee is the older one, and so I think it's just kind of that thing where it's like once you take up golf, you're kind of interested that Sebastian Korda never did. But
Well,
uh,
his dad was a tennis player, so
his dad was a tennis
it kind
player.
of makes sense that they would choose one of the two like
Yeah.
country club sports.
But yeah,
If
no,
you said,
it is interesting and it'll be a lot of fun. We've got the Jutanagarns out there, obviously the Cordas that seems to be kind of slowing down a little bit, the Cordas do, but and then you got the EYs, kind of breaking out right now, and we're gonna have the Romeros next year, which is great.
all right, and big win by we'll stick with sort of the amateur
Yeah,
conversation.
this is a good segue here because they partnered up a lot at the Curtis Cup.
Big win for Astris Tally. She won the U.S. Women's Amateur. Winning 8 and 6 in the final round, and just, I mean, she's got to be the future of women's golf. I would be shocked if she doesn't turn into something just amazing.
Yeah, this is I've been following the women's game for probably 5 or 6 years, very closely. I've been watching for longer than that, but like really following it closely for 5 or 6 years and following the amateur game. And This is very comparable. The closest comparison that I can have is the obvious one, which is Rose Zhang. But I think Asterisk is like maybe even a year ahead of Rose Zhang. Like with how she's playing right now, it's pretty incredible to watch what she's doing. Just purely every skill out there. I mean, she hits the ball plenty far. I mean, and gotta remember that she's just 17. She will hit the ball farther in a couple of years. She puts well. I mean, it's very timely. She pulls off great shots. I mean, when I was at the Curtis Cup, if I had to list like the 10 best shots I saw at the Curtis Cup, I bet she had six of them. Now, her performance at the Curtis Cup was also a little bit more inconsistent than some of the players, but the flashes are so, so, so impressive. And yeah, I mean, it seems unfair to put the future of the game on a 17-year-old's shoulders, but it's like you kind of do the math a little bit in, because she's still got another year of high school, asterisk Tally does. She's committed to play at Stanford. You have to assume she's at least going to spend one full year at Stanford. I'm not sure how much longer she'll spend because speaking of leap points, she's probably going to qualify pretty early. But you do the math a little bit. Let's say she gets on tour in 3 years. That's probably about the time we're going to start to see Nelly Korda slow down. Like it's hard to like project that with a player who's been as dominant as Nelly, but we have to assume early 30s. That's when you start to see players settle down a little bit. And so that transition should be pretty smooth over a year or two, maybe with them overlapping. And then I think Asterisk can just kind of take it away once she gets to her 20s. I think this is going to be a very, very fascinating career to watch.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me that she's going to Stanford. Like, I think she might be too good for college golf.
They're building up a loaded team, though, Stanford is. They've got her, the number two ranked and or junior in the world, Claire Yulin, and Aphrodite Dang coming in too. Like they are just loading up. We're probably gonna see, it's crazy to say, the greatest Stanford golf team ever in a few years.
Yeah, and I think it also is something that, most people want to get that college experience, even if it's for 1 year. Like, I think that was one of the big reasons. I don't know for sure, but I think that was one of the big reasons why they got rid of the whole straight to high school thing in the NBA is like, that experience, that at least 1 year in college, like you can't really replace the college experience. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't think it's a bad idea for her to be doing it, but
And in the
man, I think
current,
she could just jump on the
yeah,
LPGA tour.
but in the current state of you know, college golf, obviously. This is going to be a really fascinating case. Stanford, not a place known necessarily for their quote revenue sports. She could be, we're kind of seeing a. Now I'm going to compare this to a movie, the movie Challengers, which took place at Stanford also, where
Every rules, by the
the
way.
yes, but the female tennis player was the biggest star on campus.
Yes.
The women's tennis star, like that's the big thing. She was this child prodigy who is the biggest star on campus. People come to watch her. She has her poster up places. That could be Asterisk Tally possibly. Like
Yes,
that'll be interesting to
exactly.
see.
Yeah, that's Stanford will be like occasionally good in football, and
But it's
then
never a huge deal.
yeah, and it's never a huge deal. Like it was when Andrew Luck was there, and then like that player will be the biggest deal on campus. But like, you know, Katie Ledecky swam
Yeah,
there, and I'm sure she was the biggest deal at the time
absolutely.
when she was there. So, yeah, I mean
It's
this
one of
this
the
could
few
be
places where you can really thrive in a non-revenue sport as like the biggest star.
yeah, and this could be a place for her to get a lot of NIL money and all that.
That
So
was the other thing. She'll probably earn more money there than on the Epson tour.
exactly. So. All right. Speaking of the Epson tour, you just mentioned that. Friend of the site, I guess we'll say,
Sure.
Mirabelle Ting. She won
Maybe
on
from
the
our
Epson.
perspective. I'm not sure from hers, but
Yeah, she was very nice when we went out there to the Carlisle Women's Golf Classic out here in Arizona. She was very nice. Stopped by, took a couple minutes, and did an interview with me. So that was fun. And yeah, now she has won on the Epson Tour and in a playoff. So. Pretty exciting win for her, and she's probably headed to the LPGA Tour as well.
Yep. I would say it looks very, very likely she is. Just looking at the points, looking at the some of the gaps between like right now, it looks pretty likely that at least the top four players get in for sure. I don't know exactly how all the points will work out as it goes on, but there's a pretty big gap between the top four players and the rest. But yeah, no, this was a huge win for Mirabelle Ting. I mean, it moved her up 4 spots to number 3 in the race for the card standings. I think a lot of people forget about Mirabelle Ting. That 2025 Florida State women's golf team, Lottie Woad was not the best player on that team. Mirabelle Ting was. She was the like number one. She was the top player. She won the Annika Award for best, women's college golfer. So this was a huge win. It's great to see her. It'll be great to see her on the LPGA Tour next year. We'll see what she can do. But yeah, great win for a college superstar. That's always fun to see. It's kind of like when you see maybe in like NFL preseason game almost like there's a college star who makes a couple really great plays and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see that person play on Sundays. That's kind of what this is like, her winning on the Epson Tour.
Another great tournament that we had over the weekend was the PIF London Championship on the LET Tour. And again, we're sticking with this like young player theme today.
Hmm.
Anna Wong, 17 years old. She bested Charlie Hull by 2 strokes to win uh, this tournament. That's not like Charlie Hull is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, you talk about the future of women's golf. This is the name, if somebody said, what's a name that most LPGA fans wouldn't recognize that is just going to be a massive superstar? Anna Wong has to be in discussion. Like you said, just 17 years old. She already has 4 wins on the LET. I mean, do the math on that. When you're 17, you have 4 wins. That's crazy. That's impressive. Then you dig in a little deeper. Let's see who she's won against. Charlie Hall, as we mentioned.
Yep.
In her second tournament win, she beat Cassandra Alexander, who has been a very, very solid player in the majors this year, has cracked the top 30 in the Rolex rankings, will probably be on the LPGA Tour next year and be a really productive player. She also beat Helen Bream in that event.
Hmm.
Helen Bream, who I think if I had to like say with my gut who was the first person left off the Solheim Cup team for Europe this year, I think Helen Bream was. And then her first win, she won by 7 strokes over Nastasia Nadeau, who is on the European Solheim Cup team this year. So she's beating really good players in these events against solid fields. I mean, this was a PIF event. I mean, this one wasn't as strong of a field as some of them are, but this is still a really big event to win on the LET. Again, just 17 years old, hasn't maybe had amazing results in the majors, but 2 top 50 finishes in them this year. I mean, this is a player, again, we talk about, um, Asterisk Tally kind of taking over the American mantle from Nelly in a few years, potentially. I mean, Anna Wong, same thing with Brooke Henderson taking over that Canadian mantle.
Yeah.
And Canadian, and obviously Aphrodite Dang will be in there too. But Canada golf is in a really good place, probably because of Brooke Henderson. Brooke Henderson probably inspired a lot of these players. But there's really good Canada golf coming up, and those Canadians love their players. If there is any Canadian in a field at an LPGA event, they will have one of the biggest followings. And so it's really exciting to see these two up and coming stars kind of, you know, going into that stardom, a little bit.
Yeah. Wong's LPGA Tour future. What do you think it looks like?
I mean, I think it looks like what she wants it to look like. I hope that she goes to Q school this year. She's kind of gotten these couple years on the LET to get used to professional golf life. I hope she gets into Q school this year. I hope she gets onto the LPGA Tour next year because we don't necessarily. I do think Nil is part of it. I think there's other factors of that I'm not sure about always, but I think that we've kind of exited that generation of 16-year-old, 17-year-old superstars on the LPGA tour. You don't really see that as much as you did maybe 7 years ago. I think Anna Wong can kind of take that back over.
Wow. All right, Max, you are
But she
in.
still might go to college, by the way. She's still just 17 years old. Who knows? Maybe she'll go to Stanford.
That's crazy and also kind of interesting that
Oh
that's
no, but she's
legal.
pro. She's turned pro. Never mind. She can't do that.
Can she? Do we know?
Actually, I don't. You're
Because
right.
it's
Basketball has really set a
2026.
precedence here.
They might be
Basketball,
like
yeah,
European tour is fine, but just as
yeah.
long as you weren't on the LPGA tour.
I mean,
Like
who knows?
we have G League players playing college basketball
That's
now.
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
It's the Wild West, and she could go west to Stanford. All
mhm.
right, the you are in beautiful Portland, the
I
Rose
am.
City, for this week's LPGA event, the Standard Portland Classic, um, which is at Columbia Edgewater Country Club. It is, I believe, your favorite non-major on tour, correct?
Yeah, I would say so. I really liked the Tournament of Champions in Orlando also, but there's just something about this place. I don't know if it's because so many tournaments are in very warm weather environments, and I actually haven't been to a lot of the Midwest tournaments yet. So this kind of gives a little bit of a different feel. The course, I love this golf course. Looks like golf courses that I grew up on in the Midwest, tree lined all the way, and it is just like a true country club. You know, you've been to golf events. These places don't feel like country clubs. They're like huge,
No.
massive, like stadium golf courses a lot of
Yeah.
times. And this just feels like a true, like really small, tight country club. The clubhouse is like right in the middle of it. Like there's the putting green is right next to the first tee. Like it just kind of feels like, a course that you would just go out and play. Like it doesn't feel unattainable. And that's part of what I love so much about. I mean, the media room is in the pool house. Like that's awesome. That's cool. And so yeah, no, there's something about this tournament. There's something about the vibe of it. Portland, as you know, arguably no other city in the country supports its women's sports like Portland, and
Portland does a
that
great job. Yep.
yep, and that shows out, for golf as well. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a great tournament to come to. Really, really laid back vibe here. And yeah, I would suggest if you're anywhere in the area, it's a great place to come.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to address that I believe we talked about last year during this event is it could be a better field though for such an awesome event, such a historic event. Gino Tittakun's playing, but after that, it's okay.
A
It's a
little
good
lighter. Hey,
field.
Ron,
It's not
you.
an amazing field. No
Yeah.
Nelly Korda. Nelly Korda would make it a lot better. I don't really understand why she doesn't play in this event. I feel like it's an event that she'd have a really good chance of winning. So I don't know. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit disappointing that it's not all the best players at such a great event.
I think the issue is it's just got a kind of bad place in the schedule. And I don't really know how to fix that spot in the schedule because this does make sense for them coming here at this time. They kind of have to do that Midwest, swing in the middle of summer because that's when weather is best there. Kind of have to do, spring, get into Arizona and stuff because you can't do summer tournaments there. Like I kind of get why this has this spot on the tour or the schedule. It's right after players come back from Europe. A lot of them have been in Europe for 3 weeks, maybe four. And so players kind of want to get back home. And the next event is the Canadian one, which is one of the biggest non-majors on the tour. I mean, there's still a lot of players who consider that as big as a major. And so it just kind of has this awkward spot where a lot of players are going to go back, get a week of rest, and then go play in Canada.
Yeah, I think they could up the prize money,
But
maybe make it a
it is like startling. Like when you walk in at these events, they have like things of the former champions, and Annika used to play in this.
yeah.
I mean, big stars used to play in this, and it's arguably the most historic event on tour. I believe it's the longest continuously running event on tour. So, and it's been at Columbia Edgewater for the high majority of its time. And so it would be nice to see a better field. It's a little disappointing, but you still got some players in there, especially players fighting for Solheim Cups. I saw Megan Kang out there today. I know Lexi's here who just announced she's pregnant. So who knows how much we're going to see of Lexi over the next couple of years. So it's a great chance to come see her. So there's still some bright points in the field, but it is one of the lesser fields on tour.
Yeah, and again, I just think maybe raising the prize money, moving it around. I don't know again when you could move it to, but it for such a great event, it needs to have a little bit of a better field. But again, not a terrible field. It's not that Mexico event from a few years ago with
Right.
the
And
awful field.
that is the thing is eventually you'll get better players in this because generally players have to play places every 3 years. So you will, with Nelly not having played the last 2 years, in theory you'll get Nelly playing next year. So
Yeah.
it does all cycle around, but yeah.
All right. Let's go to picks here. Who do you think is gonna be uh who do you have as contenders in this one, and who do you think is gonna win it all?
Yeah, I first of all, as a contender, I do think Andrea Lee is going to play better. I think I've been banging this drum for a few weeks, but Andrea Lee, once that July, August part of the year hits, always seems to step her game up. She really hasn't hit that yet, and I'm still waiting for it. But if you look back at the last 3 years, she turns into one of the better players on tour during the stretch. I don't know if she just likes the courses. I don't know if it's, just getting in the swing of the season, but I think she's going to compete. But if you're looking for my pick, unfortunately, it's going to be really, really boring. This feels like a Gino week. It feels like a course she should play well. Her game should suit this style of golf. I think that this is a week that Gino should win, especially against this kind of field. I know we got Heiran Yu here, but there's not a whole lot of other players with a lot of winning experience. So I can't prove this, but probably other than Lexi and maybe another one or two older players, she's probably got the most winning experience on the LPGA tour in this field. So I just think she's probably going to take it away. It's been a while since we've really seen her play well. I think she's going to come back and play well this week.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna pick her too. I think Gino will win. She's due, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, and with it being a relatively low pressure event,
Hmm.
we've seen her struggle under pressure a little bit. I think this is her tournament to win, and I don't know what that does for the rest of the season for her, but I think she'll get this win this week.
I think we got to really though look at Heiran Yu where I was looking at it today. She's about 70 some odd points behind Nelly for player of the year. Heiran Yu is. Nelly's not in the field this week. Heiran is. Heiran could make some ground up this week. This is a big week for her because we figure that she's probably going to play the Asian swing in the fall. Nelly probably isn't. So she does have a path to get to that player of the year. And this would be a big week to make a move.
Well, hopefully it'll be maybe a hey Ron Gino playoff here. Really good tournament, really good Sunday. Um, Big Sunday for women's sports in general. I'm gonna throw a quick shout out Diana Taurasi getting her jersey retired on Sunday. So big Sunday for women's sports. You got this tournament, you got that going on. Um, and so yeah, should be good. What will be on the site that people need to check out this week though? That's womensgolfdailynews.com.
All types of stuff from on site here. Gonna be doing some more amateur coverage. Obviously, now the best amateur in the world is no longer an amateur. So, who's taking up that mantle? There's gonna be an article up about that. There's gonna be an article up about the leap standings now. We've seen two players in 2 years get it. Now, when this was pitched, it was supposed to be like an every 5 year kind of thing that someone qualifies. It's going to be a lot more frequent than that because you got players like Farah O'Keefe and Maria Jose Marin both in the field
Mhm.
this week who are really making a push at it as well. We might see two more players by the end of the year. So there's a lot of stuff with Leap. And then, of course, coverage of this event. And we're leading right into Solheim Cup. American team 2 weeks from now is going to get fully finalized. So there's going to be plenty of coverage about that all throughout the next couple weeks.
All right. And make sure to subscribe to the newsletter as well. And we will be back next week to recap this tournament.